subscription, and then the thing is that my fiance, she's actually playing. She's been playing Yakuza like all week and just doing like all the mini games and shit, and she's loving it. Anytime I'm on the computer, she looks at me like, "Can you get off?"
Hey man, that's what that will do to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working from home yesterday, and yeah, I could tell like she was probably like sighing me a couple times, like, man, this motherfucker better get on the computer quick. I need to hit up Majima in these mini games
Yeah, man.
in the cabaret.
Yeah, that
Yeah, bro.
is it. Walt, is it Zero that has the? They have the cabaret minigame, right?
There's a couple that have it, but that's the one I started with.
Okay.
Zero is the one that like makes it a thing. Because
Yeah.
then in 2 you can do it again.
Right.
Uh,
Because
dude,
I just remember.
that cabaret.
Yeah, I just remember like sinking way more time into that than I thought I ever
Oh,
would.
same. I probably spent more time in the cabaret than I did with like actually playing the game because I would breeze through the story, and like every chapter, every now and then, I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna finish the cabaret, and I hadn't finished the game, and I just finished the whole cabaret thing, and I fought the 5 magnets and all those billionaires, and I was like, damn, I got a lot of money. Oh wait, the story. Wait, there's a story I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my fiance's doing too. She has like 30 hours into Yakuza Zero so far, and
Bro.
she actually has a setup where she has like her tablet on the side and like a little guide to where like get like certain things, get like the most money to get the abilities and to upgrade the cabaret or whatever case may be. So like she's going in on it, and she's already
Dude.
put like 30 hours into this game, and it's only on chapter 7 or something like that, which is like less than half of the game story.
It is. Yakuza Zero.
Yeah, yeah.
Zero. Zero for me, I think that's like peak, like classic Yakuza, like the beat 'em up, very like the old ones, not so much with the new Dragon Engine. Uh, I think Yakuza Zero is like the make it or break it for a lot of fans. Like, it's like with One Piece. One Piece, there's a certain arc that if you like that arc, you're gonna like the whole series. I think that's with the Yakuza. If you like Zero, it's like there's a good chance that you'll enjoy a lot of the games, or you'll only like Zero. Because if you try to play, what was it, 3, 4, and 5, it's a bit rough because those are the only ones that are not in the new engine. Uh, Kiwami
Yeah,
1
that's what
and
she's
2,
telling me
though.
before too.
Yeah, Kiwami 1, I don't think it's the Dragon Engine, but it is remade.
No, it's not.
Okay, but it was remade from the fucking horrible that was the first iteration of it back in the 90s. Um, with Kiwami 2, though, that's the Dragon Engine, which is magnifique. It's like Yakuza 6.
Did you
And
guys
Yakuza
know
6,
that Mark Hamill voiced Majima?
Majima?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did he
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
Bro,
in
look,
Yakuza Zero?
No,
no,
in
Yakuza 1,
yeah, Yakuza 1 back in the
the
day.
first one.
Oh
Like
wow.
when first Yakuza came out, he voiced the English dub of Majima, and that shit is bizarre. Just the whole voice acting in that game is nuts.
That's incredible. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's been everywhere. Mark Hamill's everywhere. Oh man.
All right, guys, let's get started.
All right, are we live?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me check on sound levels real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dance, monkey, dance.
um, hey man, missed last week. You know, it was crazy. It was drank a lot of water. Stay hydrated. Games are great. Games are fantastic. Wouldn't you agree, Jay? Now do you dance?
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah. Yes, I would agree. Yes. My name is dude. That what is it with like little indie horror games that are like going for the Resident Evil classic tank controls? Like I've seen a couple already on the store, and it's like Like, are they trying to bring it back? Or are they trying to put a spin on it? I don't know, man. There's
Yeah.
stuff. There's stuff going on. There's a game before. Oh, there's another sale. Let's see this. Yo. I mean, people didn't know, y'all won't know, but Jay, I saw you uploaded. You continue in that quest. The
Alright, we're
100-year
good,
quest.
we're good.
Oh, we're good?
And,
Okay.
Yeah, we're tweeted out and everything, so we can go.
Okay, cool. Alright. Guys, welcome back to the 26th episode of the DualShock Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by my two co-hosts. I got Walt. How you doing, man?
Hey, we ain't missing this week. Last week, family
You
came.
got some explaining to do?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
man, I heard the smoke. I heard it, and I get it, man. At some point, maybe, will be Macho's turn. But for now, honestly, I have gotten the smoke. Been doing good, man. It's been a chill week, both news-wise and game-wise. Haven't done too much, but what I've done, I have enjoyed thoroughly. Aside from that, just been working more on personal stuff. Possible job coming soon for me. I don't know when I'm starting, but doing more of the process, more hiring process, like background and all that. Family's here finally. Get to spend time with them after 2 months. Finally see my little dog after 2 months. I've been missing him so much.
I hear you.
Aside from that, last weekend was crazy. They told me about you, Jay. They were like, "Yo, we missed Jay. He was here last week."
Oh,
And,
man.
why he missed us? When he came in, they were like, yo, when Jay came in, he sat in the back and started reading some book. It's that fairy tale. He just started reading that in the back. And I was like, okay, man. I don't know, man.
Oh,
He just
man.
likes to come to clubs and read a manga. I don't know.
Yeah, Walt was telling me you got a nickname over there, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
They don't have to worry about me not being there for too long. I'll be there in a minute.
Oh man, are you 32nd J? Is that the actual nickname?
Hey, chill. This is supposed to be a PG-13 podcast, man.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing.
You said everything, man. God damn. Let's move on. But Walt, don't you worry, man. I'm gonna get you. I got some smoke for you next week, man. Just wait. Macho, what's going on, man? Because you first of all, you should not be revealing that information on the live podcast stream, man. You can't be doing that. Hell no.
Man. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a fun week. It's been a little on and off when it comes to the work week because, of course, Tropical Storm Henry is coming through. We're actually going to feel some remnants of it up here in New York. So, but other than that, man, I'm just looking forward to actually spending time with some family this weekend. That'll be cool. But yeah, man, it's been gaming, trying to get these games out of the way, getting the apartment all set up, and we'll get more into what games we're playing. But guys, the King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic has finally done it. If you want to know what's going on, keep watching, keep listening to the podcast.
Oh man. All right, man. So let's talk about the games that we've been playing, man. There's been some stuff that's been coming out recently. Mine's gonna be pretty short, like it has been the past couple weeks. But I have been playing some interesting stuff though. So first, the game that you see on screen, obviously, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, man. I literally just picked it up yesterday, or like last night, and I only made it through like the tutorial before I went to bed. But I honestly don't know. I think this is like the same thing that happened with like Mass Effect, where just like literally I was bored last night and like I was looking for something to play, and like I don't know. There's for me, if your game has like a character creator and it's an RPG, then I'm gonna buy it. So like that's what I saw with this game, and I was like, okay, let's
You
try
buy
it. It's
Cyberpunk?
no, I'm not getting that.
Nice.
Um,
You must be really excited for Elder Scrolls then.
For the anniversary?
yeah, when I was fucking like 13, yeah, maybe. um, but yeah. So yeah, I just picked it up also because it's fantasy, obviously. Um, so yeah, so I only got like probably like an hour into it, but it's pretty cool so far. It's very clearly a remaster of a pretty old game because it still looks like ass, but uh, but yeah, I don't really have much of an opinion of it so far because like I haven't really like I'm not even like scratching the surface of this game yet. I literally just made my character, did like a little bit of dungeon crawling, and that was it. So yeah, I'll have more of an opinion of it next week for sure. There's this one interesting thing that's very like Shadow of the Colossus-esque, where like you actually climb these dragons that you fight. It's really
Oh,
weird.
okay.
Yeah, and just
I was
as
wondering what the gimmick of that game was.
yeah, and just as you know, it was awkward back in Shadow of Colossus. It's still very awkward in this game as well. The camera is fucking atrocious when you try to climb dragons and beasts and stuff like that. I'm guessing it's very like Monster Hunter in that regard. Like it's not just dragons that you can climb on. It's like other monsters as well. But yeah, excited to get more into it, man. My character looks dope. Look at her. She's like a little elf. Yeah, she's fucking cool. Gave her a little scar over the eye. Yeah, we got her
You're
just
a fan
right.
of those. You like those.
Hey, chill. Let's not make it weird, man. Let's not make it weird. Um, but yeah. So that's Dragon's Dogma. Um, it's pretty much the
I
same
think you got a
reason.
winner there.
Yeah, I hope so. I have no idea what to expect with this game. It was like funny thing was is that it was like $8 on PSN.
It is, yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
And I think I correct me if I'm wrong, but
$9.
like the original cost is like $23 or something like
30.
that. 30? Yeah. So yeah, very good deal.
That's a good deal. Great deal, for sure.
Definitely. And then so now my second game that I'm playing is no loading screen, cool.
Oh, wait.
So the second game that I've been playing that I also just randomly picked last night because for like I want to say a year or so I have been listening to this soundtrack periodically, just kind of like here and there in my car, but like every time I do listen to this soundtrack I am absolutely fucking like head banging the entire time that I'm listening to it.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it's a little game called Hotline Miami.
Yo!
Oh, Vita Girl.
Yeah. It's not because of her that I bought it, but
No, I know. Yeah.
yeah. So
You
like
got the collection or the first one?
the first one. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, and it actually like there was actually like a long stretch of time where I just like wasn't listening to the music, and then this week, just randomly, I just started listening to Hotline Miami 2's soundtrack, and I was like, oh man, okay, I need to play this game. So last night, yeah, I saw it was on sale for like $8. I was like, yeah, why not? And yeah, I gotten through the first stage or like the first two stages, and man, it really reminds me of Ghost Runner that came out last year. This sort of idea where the game is like brutally difficult and you're gonna die a ton, but it's almost as if like you don't really care that you're dying so much because it gets you back in there at like a snap of a finger. So like it's that whole sort of like thing of like you're like, oh crap, like I don't want to try again. But the fact that you get in there so quickly, you're kind of like you kind of have like no choice but to keep going, if that makes sense, because the respawns are so quick. It's that thing of like you're just like, okay, I'll try one more time, I'll try one more time, and you kind of keep saying that over and over and over again because the respawns are so quick. Um, so yeah, it's a really cool game. I'm digging the art style. Of course, the music is fucking killer. And yeah, I'm really interested to keep going through that game. But yeah, that's
Nice, I know. Yeah, all you hear is great things about Hotline Miami, and it's like it had like this moment in time where like it just dominated everybody's timeline or everybody's gaming system.
yeah, for sure. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's it for me. So, Masha, what about you? What's going on with you?
Yeah, so back to my original point, I had everybody in limbo and waiting. The Final Fantasy fanatic has done it. I have completed Final Fantasy 7 Remake to the fullest. I have 100% the entire game
Damn.
and the DLC, which not only required just getting the platinum trophy and everything, which I already done a year ago, but it was also including like getting like all the enemy intels and make sure you get like all of Aerith and Tifa's dresses because there's just different scenarios in which you can do that, or even different dialogues that you see in the game. All that requires different means and methods to actually access, which actually made me want to play the game 3 times in a row. And I think it's like kind of just no surprise at this point. This is like one of my favorite games of all time. Even just like I know I'm like claimed as like the Final Fantasy fanboy, like absolutely 100% take that mantle. But besides that, I think just this is like one of those rare games where I can just pop in and play and not get tired of it. There's only a couple games that actually do that for me. One being Kingdom Hearts 2, the other being BioShock, the very first one, and then now Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That just really, those are the 3 that come to mind. But yeah, man, I've been finished 100% the entire game. Now I can't wait for part 2, and I've been playing a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, so that new hotness of the week, man. Iki Island is it's a lot of more of the same from Ghost of Tsushima, I would say, but it feels like it's part of like a bigger package now, or at least it feels like it molds into like the actual game of Ghost of Tsushima itself really nicely. Where Jay, you said before, you don't really want to start over. You kind of just want to go from like your past save where you have everything.
Yeah.
You can do that. I
Okay.
literally just loaded up an old save that where I completed everything. It was like an Act 3 or something like that, and then I got the prompt saying, "Hey, there's this like new investigation at Iki Island or whatever the case may be,"
Cool.
and then you go to it and it actually commences and stuff like that. And so far so far so good in the actual DLC. They add like a lot of really nice stuff. As far as like content wise, that feels it's obviously a lot of more of the same as I was saying, but they kind of divvy it up a little bit with certain activities you want to do. And I don't want to spoil it because there's some of the stuff is actually pretty cool to actually like actual like discover.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I loved that they actually brought back was more mythic tales. And I actually ended up doing one last night, and it was fantastic. The lights are off in the room, right? I got the nice OLED screen going up. I got the sound system going,
You got
and
your Kingdom Hearts jammies on.
exactly the blanket. I got the pillow and everything, little headrest, and
Yeah.
man, I was just in it, man. Like Sucker Punch just knocks it out of the park when it comes to just the like setting a mood and the tone. Of course, the visuals are on point for Ghost of Tsushima. That's just a no-brainer there. But the artistic direction in this game is just second to none. It's so amazing. But I'll kind of leave it up to the floor if you guys have any questions on what I played so far. I got about like maybe 2 to 3 hours in. I finished maybe the second story mission so far. Um, and yeah, so
Have you tried that like Guitar Hero mini game with like calling the animals to you?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I knew exactly what you're talking about as soon as you said that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things I was saying before, how it kind of breaks up. It gives a little bit of variety to the side content, but it's more or less kind of like the meditative content that's really setting the tone
Yeah.
of Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, it's not hard to control at all. Thankfully, it's not a pain in the ass. I haven't failed it. So, but yeah, it's more or less just to, it does benefit you. That's one thing I like about Ghost of Tsushima's side content is that it benefits you whether it's a nice bandana or it's a charm to enhance gameplay aspects, wherever the case may be. It's the same thing here. Even if you feel a little silly, just moving your controller up and down.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Because I watched some reviews of it, and yeah, people seem to like it. I mean, as you said, it's more it's more Ghost of Tsushima, but at the same time, like what do you kind of like expect, right? Like this isn't gonna be like Ghost of Tsushima 2, so yeah, I'm not I personally wouldn't be too mad about that. Like more Ghost of Tsushima is like sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing about that too is that even if it is like feels like more the same of what you played before, they do they do give some of like a difference when it comes to actually fighting enemies because it is harder to fight enemies because now I don't remember this is actually in the main game itself, but enemies actually switch stances with you.
Oh,
So, and the thing is, I actually I changed my controller scheme. So now instead of having light attack and strong attack be box and triangle, it's now R1 and R2,
okay.
and you actually have to hold triangle to switch your stances. So I'm trying to get used to that control scheme because it actually does feel a lot better and have more control of the camera. I'm getting used to that scheme, and on top of that, these enemies just keep switching from having dual swords to like they put them away, and then they bring out their spear, and then they put that away, and they bring out one sword and a shield. I'm just like, dude, it's not excessive, but it's definitely adds like another layer of challenge where like, okay, I have to really be on top of my shit because either way, or they're gonna mess me up,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're not waiting for you to attack. They'll definitely charge up on you like it's no tomorrow. So.
Yeah. Interesting. Did they give you
Yeah.
a new stance?
No, no new stance as far as I know yet.
Okay.
Um, but I did get a new armor, and it's based on it's like the aesthetic is like on the monkey, and it
Oh,
actually
okay.
looks really badass.
Dope.
So I'm actually donning that right now. But yeah, the thing is that the armor that I have, the monkey one, actually adds like a really cool risk reward layer of gameplay to it, where it actually takes away my casual parries, and instead I have to do perfect parries and perfect dodges, but the thing is I get extra attacks to go along with that.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to getting the any other armors that will add kind of like a new gameplay element to me that would have me change it up.
Interesting,
But
interesting. Okay.
but yeah, that's so far the Iki Island experience. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna play more today for sure.
Cool, cool. Is that all you've been playing?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Walt, what about you, man?
Um, Real light week on the games. One game I started and only started, and only done 2 levels of it so far has been Catherine Full Body. Um, I never officially played the game, even though I bought it like 2 times in the past. One for Xbox, one for PS3. Um, I only ever played the demo, and the demo wasn't really. It didn't give you like everything that it had to offer. Um, so this time around, when I started it, I was like, you know what? I like to think I'm pretty good at games. I'm gonna play it in hard. Um, this is the one game that I'm realizing. This is the first game, actually. I think that I've played and I've realized with practice comes like actual like rewards. Like by practicing you become better at something. Because I have died more during a platform than I have fighting a boss in Dark Souls. The game is so hard. Like, here's the thing. When I play a game, I always go for the highest difficulty that's available because I oftentimes I choose normal and it's pretty lackluster. I feel like I'm not challenged. Like I'm not being challenged. I think whether that be normal or hard in this game, you're gonna be challenged. The platforming is so intricate. It is so fast paced. It's the definition of thinking on your feet. And I mean, and I don't know if you've both played it, then you understand that it is a game that the more you play it, the better you get at it. But the better you get at the level you're doing currently. As soon as you go to the next level, they're like, oh, here's a new type of block. Because essentially every block has its own properties, right? Starting out, you have your normal blocks that you can move around, right? And you have your unmovable blocks. Well, that's understandable. Oh, now there's blocks that can crack if you step on them too many times. Oh, okay. Oh, now there's blocks that are like merged together. Oh, okay. Now there's so many. They're like, oh, you got it. You beat that level. Okay, forget everything you learned. Here's some new shit. I'm like, bro, this is so tight. I love it. I love it. I'm loving.
I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to hear you praising the game, man, because it is a gem. And I'm saying it has those elements that just keeps throwing at you.
It's phenomenal. And behind that, you're doing that. So, once you finish that, you're back to the real world. You go to the classic, like RPG, like focus kind of. Not you don't have like point allocation or anything, but the interactions are very much reminiscent of Persona because I mean it is Atlas, it's not a light novel, but it very much has light novel properties of just dialogue and the occasional decision you have to make that will shape the story. The characters so far, I love them not for who they are yet because I don't know them yet. It's of how different they are. So they stand out. I've only met Catherine with a K and Rin. I have not officially been introduced to Catherine with a C.
Oh man, your world's about to be rocked.
But there was a scene where Vincent is drunk and like Catherine, his girlfriend with a K, she's like, "Yo, like, I hope you're doing well and remember not to get drunk." And he's like, "Oh, like." I build on her, and she's with her friends, and he's overthinking so much stuff, and he's thinking about how he hasn't done much, and he starts getting drunk, and on the side you see a certain succubus show up and sit next to him, and like the screen fades to black, and we go into the level. I'm like, what happened that night? I assume this will be the night that I always see like in a promo where he wakes up, looks to the side, and she's right there. And he's like, "Oh no, what did I do last night?" I can't wait. I'm having a blast. Aside from that, a game that I'm back into because of a group of friends that have been playing it pretty recently and pretty often, has been a very niche game. Not many people know about it, right? It's maybe it will blow up, maybe not. It has potential. I don't know. The name is Fortnite, right? I've been playing.
Don't you mean imposters?
The imposters, bro. Oh my god! Call of Duty did that too, right? Like every game is having like an imposter mode now.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know Fortnite is, and they're pretty blatant about where they got the idea from.
I guess. No, absolutely. I got a group of friends that they play COD, and they were like playing a mode in COD that was like imposters, like kind of like that. I don't know what it would be. I don't play COD. But yeah, man, I've been playing Fortnite. Having a blast. Fortnite. You know what Fortnite is. It's mayhem. It's the biggest crossover in history. There's a million skins, million things going on. I'm having a blast. I'm not going for the sweats. I'm not going for the wins. I'm not going for those dubs. I'm just going for the good times and the laughs. But other than that, man, just Fortnite and Catherine, surprisingly. I'm taking a break from Returnal because I'm still a bit mad at that water level. I need to like go in the right headspace.
I wasn't bullshit when I was saying it was hard.
Bro, let me tell you. Returnal, everything, the big thing, I just gotta say, this will be the last thing before we go into like actual podcast. But to you both, because you both have beaten Returnal, the one enemy throughout the whole game that has really caused frustration in me, I don't know the name. It's an enemy that looks like a genie. It's like, it's ripped, it's like really buff, and it doesn't have like a lower part of his body. He's like floating, and it's in the water level. You know the one I mean? It's like a Reaper.
I recognize the enemies in Return more by their attacks and by their visuals. To be honest with you.
So this enemy, he rushes you. He does both laser attacks that are insane. They're like vertical, and he rushes you and does 2 swipes, and then lasers again, and then rushes at you and does more swipes. Dude, this.
I think yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
When you're in the water level, you drop to a little area where you have to defeat this enemy before you go forward. It's an enemy you fight before you get the thing that reveals the platforms. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Where you shoot the little orb in the air and it reveals like a platform underneath.
Yeah.
I had to fight that thing before, and oh my god, that's the one thing I keep dying to. It's so aggro, and that's the thing. There's not many of them, but when I find them, they're like as aggro as a boss. But yeah, man, I'm taking a break from that. Just Catherine and Fortnite. That's a weird combination, but yeah, Catherine and Fortnite.
I'm glad to see that you're liking Catherine a lot, though, because that was definitely a gem when I first played it when it came out on PS3, and not a lot of people were talking about it, but it was getting the acclaim that it deserved. Just not a lot of people were playing it because it was like a very weird combination of different genres, being sort of like a puzzle platformer and also like a visual novel sort-esque kind of game. But I'll just never forget the time when Persona 5 was revealed and you saw like the first couple trailers, not really like the teasers, but like the actual trailer of gameplay. And the first thing that I saw people say was like, "Oh my god, it looks like Catherine," because of like them going to like the coffee shop or in Catherine's like the bar area, and it has like the same visual style and also the same tone of like the music and everything. So yeah, it's cool to see where that influence for Persona 5 came from in like a game like Catherine.
Absolutely, and in some ways, you know, I've thought about what would Persona be with adults, and in some ways, Catherine is half of that. It's half of like what Persona would be if it were like a more like mature story. Because Persona, not to say Persona is not mature, it does touch on like heavy themes. But Catherine is very much like, you know, you're in a bar instead of at school. You're a 32-year-old, you know. I think he's jobless right now. He's a drunk. He's a drunk. He doesn't worry about his problems. He's taking life like super easy. His whole life is crumbling, and then he's just nothing's working out for him. And they're like really blatant about it. And the whole premise, not the whole premise, but some of the driving factor is like, oh yeah, I think he had an affair, and it's like, oh okay, wait a minute. And like all of this starts building up, and essentially the big thing is like, who do you end up with? It's a dating simulator in some ways, you know. I love it. It's Persona mature, and instead of a palace, it's platforming madness. And
it's cool, just like because it does have like this very like interesting slice of life kind of vibe to it when it comes to the story, but then on the other side of it, what you're probably going to be spending the most time in really is the puzzles, which you were saying before, how challenging it is. And man, I don't know how you're doing the hardest difficulty or the hard difficulty, because I just played on normal and I was fine. Like I was like, I'm not going to redo all these puzzles because it does take some time getting through them.
Yeah, and I'm not going for platinum. Screw
the
platinum. Jay, do you know what the platinum entails in Catherine?
No, I do not.
Tales of Catherine.
You have to beat the game 6 or 3 different times. You have to beat the game and get a gold trophy in every single level. And that means in easy, in hard, and in normal. You need to beat the game 3 different times. And you need to get perfect in every single platform. That is madness. There's one trophy, just one trophy for that. That is maddening. I am not doing that. Atlas, I love you. And I platinum Persona. But I am not platinuming Catherine. And if I was more, not committed, if I was more patient, I might. But just like Yakuza, every Yakuza except for 7, I'm not platinuming them. I'm not learning Mahjong for a fucking trophy.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
No. Bro. But yeah, that's been it, yeah.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
So, actually, funnily enough, I actually got the demo to that game a while back when it was first coming out, but didn't play it. Anyway, let's get into the podcast proper. I gotta talk about. I gotta get something off my chest, man. So
Go for it.
Mato, me and you talked about Abandoned last week. Did you hear about this thing that apparently that they said in I think an interview with IGN that like if you had bought Blue Box's previous games that Abandoned will be free to you?
I did not hear. It's the first time hearing this. Continue.
That's all. But, yeah, and yeah, for I gotta look it up exactly, but from what I saw that apparently if you had bought in like some like previous Blue Box games, that Abandoned would be free to you. Yeah. So let me see if I can.
That sounds so fake.
When I heard that, I was like, okay, GameSpot. Abandoned will be free for players who purchase Blue Box's previous unfinished game.
Trolling.
What the hell is going on?
This is on Corey Barlog's level of never heard of it.
Honestly. So okay,
I'm
so
like Thanos right now. Who the hell? I don't even know who you are.
Carmon says those who purchased the early access version of The Haunting originally will soon be able to fill out a form and provide proof of purchase on the Blue Box website to receive a free copy of Abandoned. When asked about offering refunds for The Haunting, Carmon says the team would work on it should there be a demand. I'm guessing The Haunting was like some game that I don't know if it was a game that was canceled. It was okay, so The Haunting is Blue Box's most recent game, which released last year in early access. The game was later pulled from sale, with Blue Box announcing a different unknown indie studio called Create Q would be taking over development. Carmon says Create Q is a 4-man team composed of friends of Blue Box who are working on The Haunting as a side project. So Carmon goes on to say that the current plan is to release The Haunting for free upon its completion on PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, along with first gameplay trailer for Abandoned. That will happen in a few months, according to Carmon. I don't know what's happening anymore. This is insane, dude. This is like, again, like we talked about last week. Like I'm not even mad. Like this doesn't make me mad. This is just the most like bonkers like game story like in the community that I feel like I've ever heard. I've never seen anything like this, man. Like it's just hilarious to me.
I think to add to the layers of it too, I think I sent it to you guys the past week where someone was actually in a service chat with one of like the PlayStation or Sony employees and was saying how like this was part of like a PlayStation marketing plan or something like that.
Oh yeah, was it?
Yeah, it was. There's some. I think one. The funny thing is, I think it's Gene sent it out. Gene from LordsGaming.net, and it was the funniest thing because the person that was working at Sony, her name was Karen. I was like, it's always gotta be a Karen. Always gotta be a Karen. That's calling out something. But I think where was I? I thought I sent it to you guys. But yeah, it was basically someone actually like was going on with like this abandoned thing because like apparently something with like the download for a band or something like that. But basically like one of the PlayStation employees was saying like, yeah, it's for like the marketing campaign or something like that for this game or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, another layer to the mystery here.
Good lord. Yeah, I'm excited to. I can't even say excited. I'm I'm curious to see.
You're intrigued.
Yeah, to see like what this ends up like. Like once we get to like the sort of like finish line with this in a few months or whatever, like once we get, you know, trailers and substantial gameplay to sink our teeth into, like that's what I'm curious to see. Like what does this thing look like by the end of it all? Because like honestly I'm starting to believe that this thing isn't even real. With the more and more that this guy talks, like it just continues to sound more and more implausible, man. Like this to me, like I was like totally like okay up to this point, but when I heard this shit that this game would be free if you had bought their last game, I was like, what is this thing? Is this even a game at all? Like yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty insane to me.
It's a real life experience. It's a realistic whatever visual experience, whatever they say.
It's quite the roller coaster, man. That's what it is. But yeah, I just needed to bring that up.
So it's like legit that if you get the previous game, this one like will come.
I mean, who knows? I mean, that's what he's saying, but who could honestly say? Anyway, man, let's let's move on from that.
It's Kojima.
I don't even know if Kojima is capable
Here's
of
the
this,
thing, man.
to be honest.
Be this, you know, whatever this turns out to be, the beginning of this, whatever, this circus, like this all started very, like everyone was in on it, everyone was trying to figure it out, like it brought that sense of, you know, union and like this Easter egg hunt, like similar to
excuse me,
to what I think in the podcast we compared it to. That Demon Souls door that no one knew what was behind it and everyone like came together to like figure it out. It did feel like that, but now it's like watching a good show. You know what this is? This is like watching Game of Thrones. We're watching Game of Thrones. We were like season 4, fucking season 5, like peak when it started.
I would say Arrow.
Yeah,
CW's Arrow.
Arrow just I haven't seen it. I hear it drags like a mother trucker. Because I'm just seeing this like, you're seeing this like, just crumble. I don't know. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to talk about 12 minutes really quick. Macho, have you played it? Has anyone played it?
I have it downloaded, but I have not played it yet.
I have not played it either. No.
Okay.
Have you played it, Jay?
No, I haven't either. But I wanted to. I guess I got something else to get off my chest, man.
Okay.
It's not even that like this bothers me or anything like that. But I find it interesting that like like I've been looking at like people's, you know, thoughts on the game and whatnot, and this one journalist you know, was commenting about his experience and saying how he didn't like it at all. And then this other journalist commented on what he was saying, and she was like, oh yeah, thank God for Game Pass, right? And like, I'm like, to me,
Jesus Christ.
to me, yeah, right? Like, to me, I'm just like it doesn't bother me, but I just find it interesting how, like, is that, like, I'm seeing this trend now where, like, yeah, the game was, like, below average, but it was on Game Pass, so, whatever, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, man. Like, it's almost like we're giving games, like, a pass now if they're really mediocre, and, like, you know, we're giving them a pass because, hey, it didn't cost me any money. They launched in Game Pass, so, like, what's the harm, right? So yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like a certain game that's releasing at the end of this year, possibly without co-op.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
But but I ain't saying nothing.
Oh
Uh,
man.
no, no. I mean, from what I've seen, is like I think 12 minutes really falls into, aside from like the shade and just like the kind of the poking fun of the whole thing. As far as like, at least in Game Pass. And from what I've seen, that people are very divisive on this game. Like, there's no like one. It's not incredibly beloved,
Yeah.
but like a lot of people say like I really liked my time with this game, and other people are saying there's some stuff with it that I don't really like, but it's good, and then other people are just like it's disappointing. So I kind of like that varied of opinion, that it's not like all one thing. It's kind of interesting
Yeah.
considering that this game had like a pretty much a lot of hype around it because of the voice actors and that one trailer that kind of just blew people away.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that being as hyped as it was is the cause of many of the disappointments right now. Because, as I've always said,
True.
expectations expectations will really temper a game's success, and I think expectations will often kill great games. I think this game, many things could have been different, and maybe this game would have been received a bit more differently. Maybe there's a whole new alternate dimension that I can't talk about because this is a reality right now, and people can argue the opposite. But in regards to that comment, first that's being disrespectful towards the developer. Uh, the time, the
Facts.
labor, the work that's been put into this game. This game, I haven't played it, but what I've seen from it, it really much gives passion project vibes. It very much shows something different. Um, and I think you can praise this game in a review, but as soon as you say, at least it was on Game Pass, thank God it was on Game Pass, you don't deserve Game Pass. You're undervaluing the value of Game Pass, which is to give you access to what Microsoft calls a great selection of games. And if you're calling this game, oh, at least it was on Game Pass. No, thank God it was on Game Pass because you tried it. Like instead of seeing it half empty, see it half full. Instead of saying crapping on this game and saying, oh, thank God I didn't pay money. No, you clown, you're paying money. You're paying a fucking fee, a monthly fee. Like you're actually like, what is this? Like this, it's absurd. Like, I see no logic in that comment, and I see no like empathy, because you're shitting on the developer indirectly, and you're shitting on the Game Pass value, which when it's a good game, oh dude, Game Pass rocks. But if it game's ass, oh thank God it was on Game Pass. What is this? What is this? No man, no. Where's that energy? Like, keep the same energy both ways. Why are you shitting on it and sometimes praising it? No, it's one or the other. You either value Game Pass or you think it's like your way of trying games to see if they're shitty or not. Like, no, if you're in this case, if you're a reviewer, if you have a platform, and that's the way that you like refer yourself towards the game's value, I don't think you should be like reviewing games. I don't know. I don't think you should be like talking like at all about it.
I
I don't
don't
know.
think you should be talking.
You should be talking, bro. Like shut the hell up. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's and that kind of conversation just opens like a whole can of worms for like a bunch of other topics. But yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. But
that's the mentality. Like a lot of people were like, "See, this is why we're complaining about this."
no, man. But there's the thing, right? For me, I'm gonna give you an example. Outriders. After I played it a lot. Not gonna lie, I played it a lot. The time I played it, in hindsight, right now, I'm like, would I have? I'm grateful I didn't buy it because I'm not investing the time that it deserves because it's such a like grindy game, very similar to how like Destiny is and whatnot. But am I gonna shit on it because I'm not investing and it didn't hook me as much as I thought it would? No, I'm grateful that Game Pass gave me the opportunity to try it out, to have the fun I had with it, and to like just try other games. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I think I was a Game Pass. No, what is this? It's humans. We're all behind everything. Like we're all in this together. Like it's such a. And then they talk about how, oh my, like, no, that That's a more sensitive topic. I'm not touching that. But yeah, that's the case. That's the case. If you cherish what you had, cherish what's been done. Like, what is this shitting? Like, here in the DualShock Sense Podcast, we pride ourselves at only being positive about stuff, being constructive about stuff, and not shitting on anyone or anything. We're all about helping build up ideas and about providing positive feedback on things and opinions. I don't like that. I don't like that. How
At the same time, we will have fun from time to time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that is definitely that's our motto for sure. That's why we built up the podcast.
We have fun, but we don't maliciously go our way and say, "Oh my God, thank God these guys, thank God it was free because this game's ass." No, like I'm not gonna go that far. I'll say like, "Oh man, I'm glad it was free because I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much." I'm gonna talk about what I thought, not about
You
the
probably had
game
like
as
buyer's remorse, yeah.
yeah, because
Which is something we all have. So
absolutely, but it's very different for you to go, this game sucks versus I didn't like the game. You know, like be real about it. Like I know that reviews are supposed to be, to give the consumer and give the reader an idea of how the game is, but I think there's a fine line where you should like tell the difference between this is what I think the game objectively, and this is what I think of the game personally, and not merge these two in a way as to they don't buy the game. No, I don't think that's up to you. I don't think review. Yeah, you review the game. You're not telling me to buy it or not. You're just telling me how the game is. I don't know. That's a whole another can of worms. I'm getting heated, but yeah, carry on.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I miss the Walt rants, man. I missed them.
But yeah, man. I just found it interesting because it definitely is a trend that I'm seeing alongside the motto. You always see BG going on about people who don't want to spend, or who apparently are like shaming people for spending money on their games because they just get in the Game Pass, so like they feel like they get on their high horse and like, oh, you spent money on that. Like I didn't have to. I would see.
Man, he made a very good point on his last episode of the Weapon Wheel podcast where he was playing Death's Story and saying it was a very good game and contender for Game of the Year, and the camp just did not want to pay the $15-$20 that the game cost because it wasn't on Game Pass. So I mean, what was he saying? You can't get these dudes to pay $15 for this game. You think they're going to pay for anything else? Is he wrong though? He wrong though?
Yeah, that's true. But okay, man. Yeah, I just had to bring that up really quick. Let's talk about Halo Infinite because I feel like this was like a really like major news that just dropped yesterday. So apparently, 343 they do these sort of like monthly updates or whatever, and they're talking about the multiplayer, how they're happy with the beta test, but they're still listening to feedback of some things that they need to tweak and whatnot. But sort of like the big news that came from that update was that neither Forge or campaign co-op is going to be at launch. And that definitely like shook a ton of people when they saw that.
Shooketh.
Yeah, so I'm curious as to like what you guys think about this. A Halo, like, because it's funny because like I remember last year when funnily enough when Halo was supposed to come out, Phil Spencer said on, I believe it was Gary Whitta's Animal Talking talk show thing, that like, yeah, like
Animal Crossing, yeah.
That like the idea of like splintering off the campaign and multiplayer, I think was something that they were considering, but at the end of the day, they were like, no, like we need to make sure that these two things ship at the same time. But now it's just funny, like coming, to now that like, oh yeah, like obviously campaign and multiplayer will be there at launch, but like campaign co-op, one of like the most like defining things in a Halo package, right? It's not gonna be there. It's gonna be like piecemealed out, So yeah, I don't know. It's really weird, man. Because like I remember like I haven't played Halo since Reach, since the 360 days, and yeah, some of my fondest memories are playing through Halo 3 on Legendary with my brother, couch co-op. You know, playing that together. Halo 2 on Legendary, right? Like it was almost like tradition for us to go through each campaign, through co-op. And also just like messing around in Forge to a lesser degree, but yeah, there were occasions where we would just hop on Forge and like make like a racetrack and try to like complete it, and we never could because we would build it way too fucking hard. So yeah, I'm obviously this doesn't really like affect me because I'm not playing the game, but I do find it interesting nonetheless. But what about you, Macho? Since I think you are going to play the game, right?
Yeah, I have plans to actually dive into the free-to-play multiplayer. Yeah, not much of the single player because I haven't played the other Halo games, but personally, again, this doesn't really affect me because I don't really play co-op shooters. Even like if I want to play like a co-op game, it's gonna be something with Dark Souls with Walt or you,
Sure.
Last of Us, or anything with my fiance that we have here, like Overcooked or whatever
Yeah,
game that
actual
we
good
play.
games.
Oh
I ain't
man.
gonna, I ain't gonna say all that. I'm just saying that as far as like, it's so weird to see this because essentially what it reminds me of is it reminds me of two situations really. It reminds me of The Last of Us Part Two, where they say they're going to cut factions to and release at a later time, and it's been delayed indefinitely. That's just a no-brainer right now. And a lot of people can see that as like not getting the full package and not getting a complete game, regardless if they got a complete single-player game. And then the other side of it is Street Fighter V when that first released, and that was missing just a ton of modes and features. I think it was missing a story mode, I believe, when it first released in 2016. Where like I got it and actually paid my $60 for it, and I was just so unsatisfied with the amount of content that was lacking in there, but was promised throughout the years to come. But that's not enough because I'm playing it right then and there. I don't know if I'm gonna be playing it for the next 3 or 4 months, or 5 months, or 6 months. And it's the same thing with Halo Infinite, where people were really looking forward to the co-op experience because from what I've seen on Twitter and YouTube, that a lot of people do play co-op with their friends, or that like that's like one of their bread and butters for the Halo experience. Or Forge, I'm not really sure what that mode is, but a lot of people apparently were talking about that too. That's not
Yeah.
gonna be there at launch.
Yeah. That's
And they're gonna go into Halo Infinite and realize it's not gonna have co-op. I don't even think it has couch or online co-op from what I was seeing. Is that right?
I think so.
Okay, so if that's the case, then it's gonna gimp a lot of players' experience because a lot of people want to play co-op with their friends or whatever the case may be, and they're not gonna get it until the next 3 months or half a year or whatever it is they plan to put it in. But it has to be like within that year, I assume.
Yeah, I
The
think
year
I
of
think they
release.
said I think they said because you know how games are these days that they have like seasons now or whatever.
Right.
I think they said that the co-op is planned for season 2, which is like comes after like, immediately after launch. Um, I think don't quote me on this, but I think it's planned for sometime around March. But
Okay, yeah. So within the first 3 months or so of the game. Okay.
yeah, but regardless,
Okay.
it should be there at launch. Like, this is sort of like I didn't see like his live stream, but this was sort of what Kofi was talking about on Twitter. Is just this whole era of games releasing unfinished, right? And it's this whole mentality of like, okay, we'll lay out like the skeleton at launch, and then 2 years from now you'll get the complete package. You'll get the game that you originally had paid for. You know,
Yep.
thinking about like Sea of Thieves, I feel like it's the most prominent example. But the most unfortunate thing about this all is that it works. It absolutely works. Right? With Sea of Thieves, that game launched fucking bare bones in 2018, man. Like no fucking meat on the bones with that game. Now, what, 3 years later, it's seeing the most success it's ever had, right? So obviously this formula works, but it just sucks that initial launch where there's just like, yeah, where features that should be in the original package just aren't there, and then you have to wait like additional time for the stuff that should have been there at launch.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
games that
it's
never have it,
yeah.
like Black Ops 4. It never had a story mode. It only was purely multiplayer, which I'm glad that this one doesn't sound like it's doing that, because that'd be atrocious. But I don't understand the delay. The Not delay, the purposeful release of the multiplayer and then the co-op and story, which is weird. I don't know. What were you gonna say, Macho?
No, yeah, it's it's like I said, it's one of those things that were just it reminded me of like those situations where and I think to Kobe's point, it absolutely does just if it's gonna happen for the past couple of years, and then we hope it stops, right? But the one thing that's going to continue it to keep going is one of Microsoft's is God, I'm trouble my words today. One of Microsoft's premier tentpole franchises. Then there's really no stopping that train, unfortunately.
Was it
Of
was
just
it
just releasing unfinished games, and I don't think this is really like a deficit to Game Pass per se. I think it's more of just a deficit to the entire way games are made in this generation, where we get piecemealed, and I don't think it's really fair. Um, but at the end of the
It
day, a lot
sure
of people say,
works.
but yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of people are gonna say, but it's on Game Pass, or I didn't really pay
Thank
for
God
it.
it
Like,
was a Game Pass.
no, again, no. You're honestly, if you're if you don't get the full game for like another couple of years, you're paying 2 years worth of subscription service for Game Pass, which
Yep.
is like what, $300. So
yeah.
Yeah.
so might as well just pay the $60 there, and then just go from there if you want to choose that. But the thing is, it's again, it's like it breeds like a whole another avenue of just games releasing unfinished, which is why like it's such a treat when we get a game that releases, it's actually finished.
Is
You
that a
know?
whole game?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
That's why FromSoft is such a king.
Also, I found it so funny that Kofi was but it's absolutely true that like this is Xbox's like premier franchise. This is Halo. He was like, show it some respect. I was like,
it's true though. It's so true. That's the thing. It's like, can you just imagine if like I don't know. It's if The Last of Us 2 like didn't ship with like all the accessibility options that it planned on doing,
yeah,
or it didn't come with like Abby's side of the story.
Jesus, yeah,
Bro, imagine if a game didn't come with fast travel and you needed like a figure. Oh wait.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where we're like, I know it's so hard to compare like a co-op mode to like other features of another game. It makes Halo, and a lot of people are gonna say, well, the story, the multiplayer, and from what I'm seeing on Twitter and YouTube, the co-op experience, playing with your friends and stuff like that, or playing with your family. So it's the same thing with The Last of Us. It's like, what if The Last of Us didn't ship with a complete story?
yeah.
Episodic. Yo, I would rage. If it was an episodic game, yo, get that shit out of here. If they did like a Hitman kind of thing, or like a Life is Strange where it's like episode 1, Ellie, and the whole first episode is just those first hours that Macho you found like pretty like slow, or like you didn't know where it was going, or like you didn't like it wasn't anything different. Imagine like first episode. You know how many people would drop that? I don't know. I
Yeah,
think that approach at segmenting a game into whether that be episodes or seasons or modes like this with multiplayer first and then single player. I think it looks more of an experiment of them seeing like how if it works or not, because it depends on the game. If it's a game that promises new things, then for sure. If it's a division kind of deal where it's like, oh, every season you get like new content, it doesn't. Division didn't perform as well as people expected it to. But there are games that for sure works, like COD. COD will have, and Destiny. Destiny can have like 100 expansions, and every time that expansion comes out, whatever expansion it is, that's like peak Destiny for that period. because everyone's playing it, everyone hopped on again, everyone buys the expansion, and then it drops again, and then next expansion, boom, everyone's back on it. So I don't know how they'll do it with Halo. I don't know if it's like a one-time thing. Here's multiplayer, here's single player, here's co-op. That's it. Or if it's like, here's multiplayer. Oh, they like more multiplayer. You know what? We're delaying single player. Oh, we're delaying it more. Oh, we're not gonna. No. I mean,
Yeah,
what do you think?
it's such a weird anomaly. Like at least Halo Infinite is like in such a weird state because they announced
It
it
is.
was going to be a platform, and
Yep.
then they've been working on it for some time. From what I'm seeing, that they actually had to switch engines at one point, which doesn't, it's not easy to do that. Kingdom Hearts 3, the exact same thing, where it was in one engine, had to switch to another, and that's why it, you know, didn't come out for a while.
Yeah.
And then with Halo Infinite, it's just it's so weird to kind of see like what it was compared to like what's like adapting to be now. And it seems like, but at the very least, I think people were expecting the campaign and the multiplayer to be full-fledged and featured, right? To be the full
Absolutely.
package. And then whatever they got afterwards was the additional stuff with like the seasons and like the more skins for Halo and Spartan armor. But yeah, so I think people were kind of expecting that, which is the same expectations that they had for Avengers. They expected Avengers to have a full campaign. It did. They expected to have multiplayer because it was a game of service. It does. And they expected to have, the cosmetics and the loot and all that stuff, which it did. Whether it's good or not, it's subjective. But the point is, it actually released as a full game, and they charge you full money for that too. So, the same thing with Halo Infinite. I think people just had the same expectations even no matter what, if it's called a live service, no matter what, if the multiplayer is free to play, they expect it to be a full game. And
Yeah.
co-op is
Absolutely.
one of those additional features that includes that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
without a
not a
doubt.
game you expect to be segmented like this. In fact, this is like, it feels forced. I don't know. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like an organic move to make. Um,
Yeah, and they
I don't
did
know if
they
they'll
kind of
reveal
did
more
this.
information about it.
They did this with Halo 5 as well, where the
Yeah,
game
but
didn't launch with either Forge or split screen.
the
Yeah,
wow,
with and that was
that's
that
so specific,
that made a ton of people pissed back then. Cause
bro.
like yeah, like
That's
split
so
screen
specific.
is Halo, man, and they're kind of doing it again here. They're almost doing the exact same thing here. So yeah,
Why?
it's definitely pretty
Is it
crazy.
a resources thing? Is it like a timeline thing? Are they not? Do they not
I'm
have it
guessing I'm
ready?
guessing it's just them trying to prioritize like probably quote unquote what's more important to they're I guess putting all their eggs in a more important basket rather than doing forge or co-op. Like I'm guessing in their head they can kind of get away with that sort of like yeah, I don't know, that they could like get away with that for now
No, I
and
see
then
what
work
you
on it
mean.
later.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
no.
there should be less focus on what they can get away with and more on what they actually should be putting out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To be really frank with you, because aren't they already on thin ice?
With a lot of people, yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so man, I don't know, man.
And I think,
Honestly, I know some people will get mad if I say this, but honestly, I think they
but
should just delay the game, man. Just delay it to
yeah,
2022.
dude.
That's what some people are saying.
Honestly, bro, we know what's up when you don't delay a game. We don't want. I don't think this will happen. I really doubt it. I doubt Halo. If they're more segmentating it, I'm anticipating them to deliver prime a A5 prime Wagyu beef cuts when they release what they release. But if they release cyberpunk esque, like unfinished modes, why even segmentate it? Like just disappoint us at once with all of it. Then, like why wait? Like I don't think they'll deliver half-ass games or half-ass modes. And in this case, it it sure sounds like they're trying to avoid that. If that's the case, if they're trying to prioritize, like it's like okay, like they have like certain people focus on multiplayer, some certain people on the single player. It's like single player, not yet ready, and to avoid maybe if it's to avoid um in some way over time that it's not, I don't know, or if they're avoiding, I don't know what's going on. I don't know their logic behind it. I just hope that they deliver like finished and good like experiences. It's not like because we know what happened when they first revealed the footage and then they claimed that it wasn't finished. And it's like, yeah, are you sure about that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just crazy they were actually going to release that game last year.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, little mama. How you doing? Yo,
Huh?
this game is
Uh,
this game is, oh, whoa, look at this. You see her name?
Jesus Christ.
What's her name? Lil Mama?
No, it's Casca.
Yo, what's Casca doing here?
But also like her design, she looks clothes excluded, but like her face and her haircut,
She looks like Waterfall with guts, Casca.
yeah,
Um,
interesting.
yo,
That's so
That's right.
weird.
ask
Okay.
her if she sees the eclipse behind you.
Oh man, let's not talk about that. Um,
Uh,
okay, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, we had to talk about that, man. I'm gonna be really interested to
yeah,
see
man.
what this backlash will do, because like obviously they have listened to backlash. You know, they addressed the whole when they showed off that that gameplay in that Xbox showcase last year, right?
Yeah.
They
The
responded to that.
360 gameplay.
Yeah. So like obviously they do, you know, to 343's credit, they do a really good job with communicating to the
Absolutely.
to the fan base and whatnot. So, do they address this as well? Because obviously, this is something that not a lot of people are rocking with. So, yeah, I'm gonna be really interested
Man,
to see.
if I was a Call of Duty or the Battlefield Twitter comment, I would have got my memes ready
Oh,
and be
man.
like, "Yo, we got co-op."
Oh man,
That was the time to act, man. It was the time to act, especially Vanguard just had like an info drop.
yeah,
Man,
Dude,
that'll been the
that
time.
game looks, Joe, COD looking fresh as ever. COD looking.
Yeah, don't be fooled,
like
man.
it's
Don't be
going-
fooled. Don't be fooled.
Yo,
Well-
listeners, don't be fooled. It's coming in hot. COD is gonna be brand new experiences all around. Different setting this time.
okay. Well, speaking of which,
Okay.
yeah, Call of Duty Vanguard got revealed this week on Thursday. Macho, what's going on, man? You know, August 19th came and went. The rumored day that, you know, Wonton and all his, you know, PlayStation insiders said that PlayStation was gonna have a state of play. You know, 19th came and went. But also, you know, that was Call of Duty, you know, one of the biggest games that was being rumored and that I kept being told was gonna be at this state of play. You know, that Sony's gonna have it on their showcase. But you know, Activision revealed it, you know, all by themselves without Sony.
Plot twist. So so something you gotta understand about the PlayStation Insiders is that they may not be always right, but they're always wrong.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
You see, that series of Twitter, that whole Twitter thread, that was a state of play.
Oh,
That
man.
was a power move.
Oh man.
So man, if I were you, I'd hold back a little bit. That meme of that big dude that's holding back his hands, like just chill.
Listen,
Just
listen. I want my damn roses, man. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, you getting sunflowers, you're gonna be happy with it. You get what you get, you don't get upset. No.
Oh man, why are you talking? Why are you
know,
talking to
man.
me like I'm a kid, man? Literally, my grandma would say that to me, man. What's going on?
I
I know wasn't that wild, man? They literally like info dropped all of that in a series of tweets.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But
Even Battlefield had something more grand.
yeah. So we know the release date, which is November 5th, right?
Which means Halo's probably not coming out until December.
You think so? Well, what? Because Battlefield's in October, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm curious. Like, where do you guys think this puts Halo? Because really, it's a battle between all three of these like juggernauts, And I still think that Halo, regardless where it lands, is going to do well, but
Right.
obviously it's something in the back of their mind. So like I'm curious as to like why wouldn't they just like delay to Q1 of 2022, just wait until April next year and release the game then.
Yeah, it's like if it's I feel like you're just gonna not send it out to die, but you're just gonna send it out to like a core audience, and it's gonna stay that way. If you release Halo within the same parameter of Battlefield and Call of Duty, which are shaping up to be like very full package games, despite Battlefield not having a campaign.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty itself, it is gonna have a campaign. It had like a really cool story trailer to go along with like all the series of tweets. On top of, I think it said they're gonna have like 20 maps day one. On top of having all these different plans for it, I think they're even collaborating with Treyarch to have like a zombies mode in Vanguard.
Wow.
And they're also gonna have Warzone. Well, so
Wow.
it's completely
Macho,
now that
stop. You're making me too excited for this, man.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like even when I saw, I was like, damn, they're doing zombies. They're even having all the Warzone stuff. Like, so it makes sense. What happened?
You sound such a clown. It's just the way that you say, like, they're gonna have zombies. I cannot take you seriously. I cannot take it.
I'm saying that in the sense of like compared to the competition.
Yeah, the thing
You know,
is, in
where
my
like
mind,
it's actually gonna actually have some substance in it, and it's release.
Okay, that's debatable. But in terms of having
Nah,
like,
you
a lot-
can't
Damn.
you can't debate quantity of quality, sure, but the quantity, it's there.
there's quantity. That's the thing. There's no substance. There's quantity. There's no quality. What I'm saying is, there is a lot more than what the competitor is offering. Well, my question is what they're offering gonna last more than what the competitor is offering, but in lower doses? Like, which one's gonna prevail at the end of it? Now, at
Well,
launch,
it's Call of Duty. It's
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It's been the
It don't
best selling.
matter.
It's been the best. It's been the
It
best
don't
selling video game
matter.
for like the past 10
You're
years,
right.
except for
And
one
that's-
year, and
that's
that
the
was
thing.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's the thing, and that game's been up for like how many years? And the thing with COD, you can have one mode, and there was a year where there was only one mode, and that shit still prevailed. So yeah, the quantity, it's there, but it doesn't matter the quantity. It doesn't matter what they have, as long as it's Call of Duty. It's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes, because it's Call of Duty doo-doo.
You
Call
okay?
of Duty.
What's going on, man? I think he's still recovering from that trip to the strip club, man. He's still got
Yeah, I
that.
think so.
it was
Jeez,
wild.
man.
He's still got that
Wild.
vodka tongue, man.
Just 2 shots
right.
of vodka. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, tripping all over his words, it's just like he was tripping all over the dance floor last night too.
Danzaka Doodle came on. He thought he was a shit, man.
Yeah, yes sir. You know the vibes.
For real though, Macho, I do agree. They got more coming out? Yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, guys, who's gonna prevail? Who's gonna prevail? The COD.
Yeah, I mean, again, it really does depend on the quality. Yeah, absolutely, it does. But
Yeah,
the thing is, like, it's Call of Duty, and
Yeah.
that's always going to be a top seller. And the thing
Yeah.
is, Battlefield has
Sadly.
a lot of hype around it, and now Halo Infinite has negative press. And I guess, and you know what they say, negative press is not really negative press as long as you're getting it.
All
But
press
the
is
thing
press,
is, it's, as far as what's lasting, yeah, I mean, it really just depends. It really depends
Dude,
on what's the better content at the time.
It's lasted more than 20 years. It's lasted, and it's still lasting. That's the thing. It's not a matter of will it last. It's a matter of will it continue lasting. Because this is continuing. They did the whole Warzone thing where it's like it's like carrying. It's carrying forward. Because that's a big thing. It's not the story. It's not the multiplayer. It's Warzone. That's like the big selling point now of Call of Duty. 'Cause that's what they're focusing on so much. So if Vanguard's gonna have Warzone, you're not gonna have someone buying a different game. They're gonna just be migrating. That's what they're doing now. They're just
Oh, yeah,
we're moving
yeah.
you this. We're moving you forward. We're moving you forward. And I think that works better than making people buy like a completely different game and be unrelated at all to the previous one. Because this one is more consistent. This is a more consistent formula. If Call of Duty is here to stay, sadly, then I think this is a more consistent and a more logical thing that it will work, you know? But hey, maybe I feel like we're not going to be on this earth when Call of Duty is not a thing. Or will it still be a thing? I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, absolutely,
We
will
won't.
still be.
We'll be dead. Yeah, man. Jay, Macho, I got a question for you. What is the biggest appeal of this friend? And I'm not asking out of ignorance. I'm asking out of your opinions. Of what do you think makes Call of Duty just last what it's lasted?
It's well, I'll let you answer first, Jay.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I'm guessing just it's an army shooter. It's easy to pick up. I honestly have no idea. I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 1, and that came out in like 2010. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. All I know is that all of my friends play it, and I don't know. It's just like 2K, man. Those are the games that I don't know. People just play.
But
It's
do you think there's yeah, go ahead, Macho.
My answer to that is it's the one that I always say when it comes to why Call of Duty sells all the time. It's the premier. Again, I'm not, everything's subjective when it comes to the quality of the stuff, right? But it is the premier arcade shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And to Jay's point, it is easy to pick up. It's easy to get into. There's tournaments about it. There's the whole esports thing. So what makes Call of Duty the biggest way it is because it is the go-to arcade shooter.
Okay.
And that's always gonna sell. It's sold in arcades, and when it came to consoles, it was every arcade guy's wet dream. That played Time Crisis, that played or whatever the case may be.
When I say quality, I'm not saying that the game is ass. I'm saying that the game maybe that's just subjectively the ways that I see quality is the ways that a game innovates. In Call of Duty, it doesn't have to innovate because what it does well. And because they focus on what they do, it's, like you said, the premier. It is the arcade shooter. And at this point, Call of Duty, I don't even look as a game. It's an event. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm going to go buy Call of Duty. No, it's like you either play it or you don't. It doesn't, it's nothing else. Because it's not like, yeah, I play it on and off. If you have COD, it's either one game among many or it's the only game you play. You know? Because it's that type of game. And you know, I clown with the whole, zombies, what? Because they've done it. I clown on it, but it's because when people ask me, the time I played Call of Duty, some of the best experiences I've had in gaming history in my life, because that's some of the best people I met, some of the most laughs I had to gaming back in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 a little bit. I haven't purchased a Call of Duty in like 6 years, because all the Call of Duties I've had have either been through sales that have been like $5, because they go on sale so quick, or because I've got them like gifted to me when I worked at GameStop. So like, you know, in my case, it's because I wouldn't pay for it. I clown on it, but it's because I in deep part of me, I do cherish it. It's baffling, and it's fun to shit on things at times, and not shit on maliciously, but it's fun to shit on things. Like we said earlier, we have fun, but it's not in the way of, oh, Call of Duty is like this, it's bad. No. If you say Call of Duty is bad, you just don't like first-person shooters. It's not a bad game. It's just not my game anymore. I think it's a game that you either keep playing up until you're dead, or you just drop in the middle of your life and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Because it's people keep are gonna keep you know, coming into this world, you know, and kids are still gonna be around, and teens are gonna still be around, and people are gonna keep evolving. So. Yeah. There's not gonna be a mass, you know, a Attack on Titan, like, you know, like no more kids are gonna be born. I think that it's it's very much a culture thing. Like Call of Duty went from a game to just like it's its own culture in a way. And yeah, there's big events. There's so much around it. It's not even. It's an event. It's when in the future, if we are gonna send like something to the aliens for them to know what humanity was all
You
about,
think way too much about this whole.
Yeah.
I feel like someone will be like, "Oh, we gotta put Call of Duty in it." It's like, no, shut up. Let it die, please.
Um,
No, but I can't discredit that. You're right. It's prime. Here's the thing, guys. I'm thinking too much about it because it's just baffling how the game can last so long and still it be so consistent and not waver in quality. It's insane. It's insane. Anyways, it's a money bank. It's a piggy bank.
Also, by the way, man, this game's fucking awesome, man. I'm here just vibing, just playing this, man. It's pretty fucking cool. Let's talk about so Macho. Last week we talked about the rumored From Software game, as well as Wipeout. The guy who leaked it also leaked that same week that our favorite little thieving raccoon is set to make an appearance on the PS5. So essentially, he went on the Reset Era. Some guy, I don't remember his name, but some guy was talking about, oh yeah, there's gonna be essentially Sly 5 is being developed, and then this guy, Special Nick, the guy who leaked From Software game, Final Fantasy coming to PS Plus. The Iki Island expansion, et cetera, et cetera. He also said that, oh yeah, I've also heard that, Sly 5 is in early development, but it's not being made by Sucker Punch. So I know you're a Sly Cooper fan. So what is this? What is it? So let me ask this instead. Are you excited that this is going to be a continuation to the larger Sly Cooper story at large, or a remake or a remaster of the original trilogy? Like, where are you at with this, if this is true?
That's a very good question. I don't know what I would really want, to be honest. I mean, well, first, I know what I don't want. I don't want a remake. I don't want a reboot. I would love a remaster, just to kind of go back and touch up the old games, and release them on the new platform. And then I'd rather have them do that than gauge like the actual hype and kind of the following of Sly Cooper, and then go with maybe then go with a new game. I feel like if you just go straight into a new game, I don't feel like a lot of people are really going to care, personally, except for the Sly Cooper fans.
Same way as I do, where it's like I want a chance to experience Sly Cooper at its prime right now. Like, what would it be like to play it now? Ratchet and Clank quality, Rift Apart quality, I don't know. That'd be pretty tight. I've been meaning to pick up the collection on Vita, but I haven't because I don't feel too inclined to do it because I don't have the nostalgia that pushes me to do it. At some point I might, but that'd be a good option to have, like, not a remake, but a reimagine, maybe, like something or
yeah, like something like Medieval, or something like Medieval, maybe like Crash Bandicoot, the Insane trilogy, the Spiral Riptos trilogy, or whatever it was called. Something along those lines. Yeah, Reignited. Yes, thank you. Something along those lines for Sly Cooper, I feel. But to be keeping the same art style, keeping the same comic book-esque like feel to it. Really just not really touching up on voices either. I want them to keep the same voice actors. Really keep the original feel of that. That's rather what I want, and rather than like a reboot or a remake or a new game. Because honestly, I really feel like they put out a new game, it's going to be sent off to die. I like, as much as I love Sly Cooper, I can recognize it is not a Ratchet and Clank. I can recognize that it does not have the the mascot power of something like Astrobot. And I feel like it was probably the same thing with Sackboy, where like a lot of people like the newest Little Big Planet or Sackboy Adventure game, but You know,
It
are
did
people
set
really
the
clamoring to go back
yeah.
to the,
It didn't set the world on fire.
right? Yeah, are people really clamoring to go back to Little Big Planet now that they play Sackboy?
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah. I mean, I agree, and that's why remasters work so well, and usually why they're made in the first place, right? Is you put out a remaster to gauge interest in the franchise. Like, okay, whether or not this remaster does well, okay, if it does do well, then let's invest and actually make a new title in this franchise, i.e., Crash. They did the Insane Trilogy first. They gauged interest. Okay, are people actually still interested in Crash? Okay, clearly they still are. Let's do Crash 4. So in my mind, like, to me that would be like the most like the smartest thing that they could do. And then, after doing the entire trilogy, remastered to the same level of quality like the Insane Trilogy, and then they were to put out a Sly 5 a couple years after, like, to me that would be like the road I would want them to go down. Because yeah, I agree. I think if they were just to put out Sly 5, I think it would probably not do too well. But at the same time, it also depends, like, who do you get to, like, develop this game, right? You have to make sure that they're quality, right? Because Sucker Punch is probably not going to do this, and which is understandable because, like, they obviously want to work on new stuff. They obviously are busy with Ghost. So whoever is working on this, you have to make sure that they're a quality developer. And, like, hopefully it's a team that will generate some hype from fans and will convince them to get the game. But I don't know. At the same time, like, nostalgia can be a powerful thing, man. Like, Sly has been dormant for a long time, so maybe that fact alone is enough to gauge interest. Like, I don't know, man. But I think
in
Macho,
order
you're generally right with that assessment.
in order to determine how successful it is on release, if let's hypothetically like imagine a Sly 5, um, whether it's successful or not, I think it depends on what you just touched upon, it, which is who would take care of it and how much would go into its production. So, like, if it's a full-on remake of the original collection to test the waters to then release a Sly 5, yeah, it really depends on how much the budget for the game would be. Um, and yeah, man, I'm fine either way, because I would get to play Sly, and if they release a Sly 5, it'd be cool if they, like, introduce at least, like, a recap of, like, the previous games,
But,
like
like,
they did
to
with
to that point,
what?
right? Like, it has to be, which is tough, but, like, it has to be to
Mm,
the level of quality of Rift Apart. Like, it can't be
absolutely,
like a
absolutely,
half-ass remaster or remake like Medieval was when that came out, right? Like,
absolutely.
it has to be fucking quality.
Yeah, I'm coming up short. I'm not. I mean, but Macho, would you have someone in mind, like, that would do a good job, or do you think would do a good job if given the chance to either remake or make a Sly 5?
Dude, obviously, like, Toys for Bob would be like my
yeah,
first pick,
yeah.
but
Mm,
obviously that's
They
not
got
gonna happen,
absorbed into the Call of Duty fucking team, which is like annoys the hell out of me.
which is sad. Yeah,
Um, yeah, that was a sad day when I learned that Toys for Bob was going to be absorbed to do Call of Duty stuff.
yeah,
Because they knocked it out of the
because
park with the
yes,
Crash stuff. They really did, and Spyro.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah,
easily. But
yeah,
maybe,
yeah, and Toys for Bob would have been the one I would say.
maybe,
There's not really one that comes to mind really, but
the only one that I can think of is, like, possibly the ukulele team if you were to, like, commission them out to
mm,
do this.
yeah,
But I don't know how well received ukulele was. Like, I think it was like the definition of okay. But if you were to give that
yeah,
team, like, a large budget and a lot of time, maybe they could cook up something good. And then
maybe.
the other obvious choice would be Sumo Digital, right? They actually really knocked it out of the park with Sackboy: A Big Adventure. So, like, I don't know. I feel like same thing. If you were able to give them time and a decent amount of money, I think they could do something pretty good too. Um,
Yeah, because I'm thinking also,
Hell, give it to Blue Point, man. You already
bro,
give it to Blue
bro.
Point at this point.
I'm thinking like either these one of these two also could be possible. One being, the emergence of a new studio in the next few months or years, and they're tasked and they're part of PlayStation. They're tasked with recreating the Sly experience, or an already existing studio pulls a gorilla, and they're like, oh, they go from this, how they went from Killzone to Horizon. Then they go. Oh, there's a studio out there that has never done a platformer or has never done like an action platformer, and they're giving the Sly task, and they do a good job. I don't know. They have to play their cards right because they're playing with a very very important part of PlayStation like history and a very important mascot in their whole lineup of generations. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's a
Sly
delicate
Cooper. Sly Cooper
property.
is a huge part of the PS2 generation. He's absolutely a mascot for that console,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a delicate
alongside Jack.
property.
Like it's all you hear from like the PS2 generation.
Yeah, it's all
Besides like all
y'all
the
talk
amazing
about.
games that are on there, but like the mascots, yeah, Jack, Sly, and Ratchet.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
You
it's all
know.
it's all you two ever talk about. Like when you mention PlayStation, it's like, and I'm like, oh, cool. I played Mario Party. I was Nintendo. Like, I never played PlayStation 2.
But also, like to
Yeah.
this point, can we talk about like there's that whole concern of Sony only focusing on the blockbusters or whatever, and like
Typical, yeah.
like if this does turn out to be true, like how fucking cool would that be? Like for them to bring back Sly Cooper is to me proves that like they're still interested in doing not necessarily like the quirky titles, but just like adding a little bit of diversity to the palette.
Yeah.
I would
Honestly,
be over the moon, man. I would be over like regardless like PlayStation for me like ever since they yeah, ever since like beginning of 2020 I feel like it's been a little rocky in terms of communication and just
a little.
a little. Yeah, yeah. But but in regard to like the games that they're offering, I feel like it's better than it ever has been. And if
Absolutely.
they add Sly to that,
Hey,
yeah,
man.
I'll be over
Maybe
the
one of
moon, man.
the maybe one of the 25 IPs is Sly. I don't know.
That
Maybe
would
one of
be
those
fucking cool.
secret projects. They said half are new. Maybe the other half. Maybe one's Jack and Daxter. Maybe one's Sly. I don't know. I don't know what they have cooking there. Honestly, now now I'm anticipating. Now I'm hoping. Like I think of this, and now I'm thinking like one of those 25. Like one of them has to be like an oldie, like something from the PS2 era, or I don't know. It should. It would be really cool. But I don't know what they would do. Honestly, like I thought, when we're talking about reimagining and remakes. I don't think the Dead Space treatment would. What would it do? If they go like not collection, but they do like one title and then another one. I think it would benefit more if they did like the collection instead of just the first title. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think this like I really hope this is actually like a thing just for the fact of it Ratchet and Clank just proved that mascots
Definitely, yeah,
for franchises still have lasting power
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's a good
and it can
point.
still make an
Absolutely.
impact because like it sold like how many? Like over a million?
Yeah, 1.1 million.
Right, yeah. So obviously they're and of course a lot of it has to do with his visuals too, because visuals do matter. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
case in point, people still love like those buddy mascot games, whether it's Ratchet and Clank, whether it's Jack and Daxter, or even if you just have Sly Cooper and a Thievius Raccoon. It's like a ridiculous
yeah.
kind of title like that. People still love that stuff.
what's her
That's not
name?
going away.
The Rosita. What's her name?
Yeah.
The
Carmelita.
Carmelita. Yeah.
But
If
oh,
they
go
made
ahead.
like a game with her, if they made like if they went full like different and they went with the different. I don't think they will, but that'd be like a very bizarre and probably bad move if they went like, oh, we're not doing Sly, we're actually doing another protagonist.
Yeah,
Or
I
they
don't
do
think they
like
would do that.
what?
But like
I don't think they should do that.
to that point, Macho, about like Ratchet very clearly showing that yeah, like people still have an interest for these games. Like I also think that Astro kind of did the same thing too. You know, like
Oh
people
yeah,
love
absolutely.
Astro. You know.
Yeah, it's all right. Nah, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean that's from all accounts and purposes. I think it's easy to guess that it's gonna get its own game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
why
for
why
sure.
They
shouldn't why shouldn't Sly
would,
why shouldn't Sly?
would Team Asobi do a good job with a Slay game?
Um, I think
I'm
Team
not sure.
Asobi. I think they could do fine with whatever game
Yeah.
they choose, man.
Yeah. I mean, facts.
Yeah. At least for if they're doing like the remaster stuff for Sly though, um, or even if it is a new game, I wouldn't want that. But if it's a new game, I would love to at least know that Sucker Punch is consulting on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
that's what I would like at least.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like because what was it? Wasn't Naughty Dog even consulting on the Crash game or the Crash Insane trilogy?
Oh, I have no idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but
Yeah.
one would hope.
One would hope.
Yeah.
One espera.
Yeah, I'm really I really hope it's true, man. Even though I don't care for Sly 4 and what it did to to those characters that I love so much. It
Man,
just
it was good. It was good.
no, it
It was a
wasn't.
good game.
No, it wasn't,
It
man.
was a good
You
game.
can't
It was a
convince
good
me.
Which one?
game.
Sly 4. That game
Oh,
does not exist in my mind. So so
damn. Was that bad?
oh
It's not.
yeah,
It's
it
not. Jay's
is.
overreacting.
I'm
He's
not.
overreacting.
I'm not.
Is this a Mass Effect 3 kind of thing where people are like, "Oh, it's the worst of the trilogy," and it's like really good?
Um,
It's a decently good action platformer. But
You different. Like
whether
what?
it lives up to the story chops of 1, 2, and 3 is I don't know if that's up for debate really, but like I don't think it is.
Is that the
But
big
it's
thing that they changed? The story?
I
uh,
mean to be honest, let's just say this: I can't really remember what happens in Sly 4. I just remember having fun.
Shakes.
they just made they just made like what's his name, Bentley's love interest the villain, which was like which was really weird, right? Just
Oh yeah, I remember that.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere, she became evil. They regulated Murray, who actually had like death in the second and third game. They regulated him to just kind of typical generic fat character who likes to eat. Sly, they made him just like a dick the entire game. Um, and like
So,
there was like some weird like love thing between Carmelita and like one of his ancestors, and I think Sly got all like in his feelings because of that. Um,
I don't even remember that.
yeah, and then God, what? Also, like
memories.
the art cutscenes, like they were so good in the first three games because they looked like they were just like straight up out of like comic books because they weren't even like like cutscenes where like the characters were like moving around. They were just like literal just like shots like screenshots from like directly ripped out of like comic books. But then like in
Yeah.
Thieves in Time, they actually like animated it into like fucking like like a full fledged like cartoon or whatever. It just looks ugly in comparison, man. I just
Yeah, it's
don't
not.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went from not that the new one has non-comic book cutscenes because I think it does, but it went from The World Ends with You to Neo The World Ends with You, where it's like they went from the comic book aesthetic to like the more 3D, more bland aesthetic kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good comparison actually. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. You
I would
know?
agree. I would actually agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
As far as art style and stuff like that, yeah, Sly 4 is nothing really
dude.
to
That's
laud
pretty.
about.
I don't know. I think that's a make or break for a lot of people because there's a game I forgot the name. They remade it in 3D form, and it was originally a fully 2D pixel game. But the way that they remade it in 3D, the magic, the charm, it is not there. It feels so bland and it feels so generic. I feel like the perfect for a lot of games, the perfect kind of remake or continuation of visuals from 2D is the Octopath approach, where it's like 2D, 3D, kind of pixelated, like how Dragon Quest is doing. I don't know. It really, you can't just go 3D with a game. And it's surprising because it's like, what? But 3D looks like, you know that video where they tried putting like Ocarina of Time and like Unreal Engine, that looked like ass. Like people are like, oh my god, this looks amazing. No, that looks terrible. It looks too real. It looks like it looks weird.
Sly 4 kind of like fell victim to that. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh man, no, it's like no.
But I really like the reason why I sort of just defend it because I really like the gameplay ideas.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah, that can, you know, they could keep that in any future installments that they might do if it's a remake or not. You know, they could do the old games with the new gameplay. I don't know. Which was the best Sly out of the first three?
2 for me, absolutely. One is like such a great start, but a lot of the controls are very funky if you go back to it, especially certain boss fights. But 2 is just like it's that jump that you love in a sequel, right? It's the Dark Knight to the Batman Begins.
Yeah,
it's the art.
Where like where you're already excited for this next game, but then this just took it to the next level. You're just like, holy shit!
Yeah,
they went there.
Yeah, and like also like for me, like another kind of like issue that I have with Sly 4, is that like I don't even think like the gameplay is pretty solid. Like it's not even like the game part that I'm really mad about. But it's just like the other things that I listed. But also on top of that, like Sly and Carmelita's, like I kind of alluded to it already, but like Sly and Carmelita's relationship just like takes such a downhill like turn in my opinion. Like all of that like charm and like spark that they had whenever they talked, it's just like completely absent. And then like also like the like back to like the whole art style thing. Like I generally think like the cell shaded look for that game looks like pretty nice, but they also changed like the character models in Sly 4 and they look so bad in comparison to what they did in the OG trilogy.
But it's like the movie kind of redesign for Sly Cooper when that was a thing going on. That redesign was just
it's gross.
Good. It was,
gross.
But yeah, and then like back to like Sly and Carmelita, man. Like they had such a fucking like spark every time that they talked to each other. Like I was just looking at like some lines between them, and like listen to this one. So Carmelita says, "Look, Sly, for once, let's cut the flirty chit chat and get down to business. I need an experienced tail gunner. Jump in, grab the gun. We got a bird to take down." And Sly says, "That's not flirty chit chat." Like it's just like shit like that, man. It was just they're so every time they talk to each other, man, it was just like you're on the edge of your seat because like they just have that you know that fire whenever they talk.
That banter and that nice wit. Yeah, that very like how you mentioned Ratchet and Clank, how the writing took a shift, and like it used to be much more risque at times. Okay.
Yeah.
That's also. I mean, it's kind of a different subject and different IP, but that's also one of the reasons why, like, I not the biggest fan of Insomniac's Mary Jane because she does lose a little bit of, like that pizzazz of like what she was in the comics, which was just like a real smart talker and really witty.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point, right? I mean, she has to make up with not having powers. She has in her wit and her intelligence and her charisma.
Yeah, that's why she had a shotgun in Web of Shadows.
and her arm was like broken. She had like a cast, didn't she? At the same time?
Yeah,
Bro,
I think so.
Yeah.
I never played Web of Shadows. That sounds brutal.
Dude, that game
it's a great game.
It's a fucking good game. Honestly, I think it might be my favorite.
I think it's the only Spider-Man game that actually has Mobius in it. if I can remember
Oh
correctly.
God, I fucking remember that. Right?
Yeah, that was a bomb ass boss fight. Yeah,
dude,
it was good.
like that. Honestly, it might be my favorite Spider-Man game to date. But I just really like how I'm not the biggest like comic book guy at all, but I really like how they kind of like introduce the not very most like common characters in the lore, right? Like
Yeah,
Morbius, Moon Knight was in it.
Yep,
Um,
yeah, he wasn't it. Yep.
yeah, like these characters that like personally I'm not too familiar with, but yeah, they had them in
that's
that game, and I thought that
insane.
was pretty cool.
How you mentioned those two that they were like pretty obscure back then, and now they're gonna have like their own show or
Yeah,
movie in
like
Disney Plus.
I didn't
That's
know
insane.
who what's his name? I didn't know who Luke Cage was, and he's like a pretty prominent figure in that
Now he
game.
is, yeah,
Obviously,
and
Wolverine
now
is in
he's
the
very
game.
recognized.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn,
You know, Vulture was
it's
in
just
there, and
yeah,
what's the other one? Electro was in there as well, but they're well known. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
there was a really good cast of characters in that game. And the
Nice.
combat too, man. The combos and different things that you can do with combat in both the normal suit and in the symbiote suit was so cool. Like the differences between both of them were really great.
Yeah, the one Spider-Man 3 ripped off of for sure. Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Yeah,
It did it better. It was
yeah.
very fun.
Damn. A
Um,
lot of movies did a lot of things better than Spider-Man 3, but that's another subject.
hey man,
It's a
I like
fact.
Spider-Man 3. Let's
Hey man, I don't hate
Like,
it. I'm just saying that it did a lot for then not having a fourth. Like it did so much, but then not if there wasn't a fourth movie, everything that happened in the third one was like there was so much setup, so much happening. There wasn't a single focus. I don't know. That's a. I liked it. Just saying, there's a lot of things that the previous two did better than three.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
clearly. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Um all right, man. That's the Sly talk. I think we are very hopeful that something does
yeah.
come from it. But
Absolutely.
yeah. All right, man. I don't think there's too much else to really talk about. I think we kind of
Dude, we we need to talk about. There's gonna be fishing in Skyrim. Come on.
Oh right, we I guess we should talk about that.
man's gonna pay a full $60 to fish in
Bro,
some murky ass. It's 240p sub HD
I
water.
could not I was beside myself that was the thing you're touting as the big new addition to Skyrim?
Hey man,
What?
bro.
Like what? Like it,
You know
like
what's
no joke,
crazy?
no joke. That was in the press release. Like they were saying, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it has 50 or like 500 Creation Club, you know, additions to it, next gen upgrades. It's got fishing as well in it. I'm like, that's what you guys are touting? Like, good lord, man. That's how you
Bro.
know I'm not spending $60 on that. So
You know
when you're
what I
touting
will
one of your
say.
biggest improvements to this anniversary edition is fishing, yeah, I'm good.
What I will say. I can name three games that have already fishing, and I bet they're gonna be more. They're more interesting than whatever this is gonna be. One of them, Final Fantasy 15. It's
Yeah, I
actually
was
got
hoping you would
decent.
say it.
Hey man, that fishing is
The fishing
bomb.
minigame is the fishing minigame is pretty lit. Not gonna lie.
Bro, there's a whole DLC just dedicated to fishing. There's
Oh, the
like
VR
you,
thing. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, man. There's a VR fishing in Final Fantasy 15. There's different kinds of monsters, like little like fish monsters you can fish for. Get the heaviest one, get the largest fish. It's super fun. You will not stop playing. Another
Monsters of the Deep.
Monsters of the Deep. Yes, that's the one. It's so good. Another one, Stardew Valley, actually has a really good what do you call it? Like a little tab where all the fish you can collect are, and you can just spend hours and hours fishing. The little mini game with it is really fun. Um, you and aside from that, you got farming, you got uh, You can cultivate some vegetables and fruit. You can explore a mine and fight monsters, and you can marry some. Stardew Valley is incredible. It's really good. That's all I'm saying. And three, although I didn't spend much time with it, but if you got a friend, right now it's free until August 30th. Go ahead on PS5. You can play ESO, and there's fishing in it already. You don't have to pay another $60 or whatever it's gonna be for this anniversary edition one.
Or you could download the free trial for Final Fantasy 14 that includes A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Sword for additional up to level 60, and you actually get fishing in that game too.
Hey, you know what? That was my question, Macho.
I'm impressed, man, because I feel like you haven't done your weekly ad for FF14 in like a couple weeks.
That's because they actually listened and they flooded the servers. That's been for weeks now.
So you did.
I haven't had trouble logging in, but still, man.
So your job was done. Your job was complete.
My job was done, exactly. I got the check. The check.
Man. Crazy.
Got the bag, boy. Yeah, but yeah, man. Those are 4 games with fishing in it. Yeah, you see, it's not a big thing.
Yeah, but are you guys gonna Are you guys gonna pick this up?
I'm pre-ordering that.
Because is it the
see the fact that you laugh makes it seem like you're we're not going to.
Man. I gave it away. Oh man.
Give away your punchline, man.
But like, you can't even like upgrade the thing to next gen for free, right?
I thought you could for Xbox Series X and S.
Oh, they're making
I don't know about PC though.
They're making you pay for it on PC? Shit.
Let me see. Actually, hold on. Dance, monkey, dance. I'll look it up right now.
What I will admit, one thing I will admit is that if you have Skyrim on PC, that is the definitive way of experiencing Skyrim, because not of what Bethesda has done, but because of what the community has done with the mods. Because there are so many, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mods that will make Skyrim feel like a completely different game. So, if you want to play Skyrim, play it on PC, get those mods. You got like some real visual enhancement mods in there. You got some, there's so much. We clown on it because Bethesda's like, oh, for Alexa, or for this.
So let's see. So what I'm looking at is if you already own the special edition on either console. I'm reading like a PlayStation like website, but they say on PS4, so I assume it's for Xbox and possibly PC too, that you can upgrade from the special edition, and this anniversary edition has 3 new pieces of DLC, which is the fishing, it has survival mode, and Saints and Seducers quests. So probably like a whole new quest line, and along with like the visual and technical stuff. And apparently the PS5 version of Anniversary Edition is also having DualSense support.
Cool.
So whether that's actually worth any extra money if you were paying for it, or if you're just like a new person buying into it, yeah, I mean, there you go. But again, it looks like it's gonna be an upgrade, a free upgrade. It looks like I'm reading here.
Free, okay. If it's free, hey, then still don't get it because there's better fishing games. But
yeah, it can be freely upgraded on PS5. Yep.
Oh, if you got Skyrim and you feel the need to fish on Skyrim, then
man, I haven't played Skyrim in like 10 years.
I haven't played it in so long.
It came out in 2011. So like around 8 or 9 years. I haven't played it.
Re-released it like 6 times from then.
They're shaking hands with Take-Two right now.
It's baffling to know that you can play it on Alexa. It's just baffling.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I saw this tweet that it has now surpassed Resident Evil 4 for the game being on like the most platforms or something like that.
Todd Howard is rubbing his hands right now.
Oh, obviously.
He's like, sweet little lies, baby, I don't care.
What do you say to people is like, you want us to stop releasing Skyrim, stop buying?
It's true. He's not lying.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You idiots.
Man, if I open up a shop and I kept selling lemonade, it was like shit lemonade, but people kept buying it, and I was keep selling it.
Yeah, you dummies.
Hey, man. Dummies.
Stop buying it, man. Like what the fuck? What do you expect what do you expect from them? It's the same thing with Assassin's
Bro.
Creed. They literally said the same thing
Bro.
back in the day that like, hey, like we would stop doing the annual releases if people weren't buying it. It's absolutely true. So like people complain all they want, but they still buy it. So like, yeah. I don't know,
Hey,
man.
man.
It's crazy.
Honestly, I just, and it's not. It's the fact that it's across consoles. You know, it's not because for PC I get it. If they do a lot of shit, but they don't have to do anything on PC because the community does it. It's like they're not gonna be. Oh, there's an expansion where you're gonna be Thomas the Train in Skyrim. It's like no, you don't need to do that because that's not something you would think about. He has it.
That kind of
like,
start to the DLC is just hilarious. You just got an NPC. It's like I heard there's a loud engine and rumbling up in the southwest of Whiteports, and then you just hear choo choo,
and you start hearing the song. Instead of the dragon music, it's just it's like it's coming from afar, north. You see it coming from the sky. You just see it.
And then you hear a little bit of Fusroda.
Fusro chicka. Hey man, Skyrim's wild. It's a fantastic modded game. Now vanilla is kind of whatever. It's your standard. You know, there are better experiences for our fantasy. If you want to experience a classic, I guess Skyrim is in it because it's already considered like. Some people might defer and consider Oblivion or Morrowind to be the classic. I don't know. There are a lot of fantasy games, but play Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Yeah, like I think the game is like really fun to just if it's purely just you like exploring, walking around, and just like taking in the sights and the music. Like
Absolutely.
it's really good for that. I also enjoy, I love my character creators, embodying my own character, getting, their clothes, and the archery is really fun in that game. But besides that, man, like in terms of like story and characters and the combat, it's all fucking nonsensical, man.
Honestly, a lot of what made Skyrim so special for me was the RPing that you could do, the role playing, and how you could literally have your own house and build it from scratch and adopt children and literally marry someone.
Yeah, I love that
like,
stuff.
Just, it's a lot of cool stuff. Like you can in your mind be like, oh, I need to go to this. I'm gonna go to this cave that's on the other side of the map, and I'm gonna go by foot and just take all the scenery and fight bandits on the way. And to this day, the soundtrack in Skyrim is like,
yeah, at
least for in all D&D sessions that I've seen on Twitch and whatnot, there will always be a Skyrim soundtrack in the background because it's just it's a classic. It's memorable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, but the story, I don't know. It's a cool premise.
Like to that point of like the house and the children and whatnot, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like where you could actually have the opportunity to do some RPing. Like I feel like it's not as deep as like I would want it to be. Like it feels so
Absolutely.
like the bare minimum, right? It's nowhere near something like a Fable 1 or
a Divinity even.
Yeah, in that
Divinity
aspect.
2.
Like it's the most like when people call it like an RPG, I'm kind of like because it's like the most like it's like an action adventure game with like RPG elements. That's like the most I would give that game. Obviously
Yeah,
not.
it's kind of like calling Mass Effect 2 a full-on RPG. And it's like,
yeah, that as well.
Not really.
But yeah, man, that game is coming out November 11th this year. Well, it'll do really well, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that's going to do it for the podcast, man. Want to thank everyone for joining, for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and throw us a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, man. We would greatly appreciate that as well. On our journey of getting to 50 subs before the end of the year. So yeah, before we head out, man, let's talk about what you guys got up to, or what you guys have planned for this week. Macho, you got anything going on?
Yeah, man, spending time with the family today. It's gonna be good. My nephew's actually downstate, so I'm gonna spend some time with him, chill in the pool, chill with the
Nice.
family, the fiance. Get some more stuff together in our new home. We guys still gotta put up our floating shelves and a couple other knickknacks here and there. Some posters, and she has agreed to let me do my own little gaming corner next to my PC. So I got some posters set up, so it's gonna be cool, man. And play more Ghost of Tsushima, Iki Island for sure. I'd missed on this point that I wanted to touch on real quick was that I did upgrade from PS4 to PS5,
Okay.
and unfortunately, you still need the PS4 disc like Miles Morales. So it's not like you just upgrade and you just play like the digital PS5 version. You still need the PS4 disc in your PS5 if you have the disc version,
Okay.
and play from there. Unfortunately,
Okay.
but regardless, I think the DualSense really does add to the experience, and to me was worth the extra $10. Because man, whenever I'm just playing that game and like you feel like the rumblings of the DualSense, or just even like the haptic feedback rather, and then the adaptive triggers really does add to the experience. And I just get lost in when I'm exploring. So yeah, looking forward to doing that and just really getting more sunk into Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice, nice. What about you, Walt?
My case, considering my family's here finally from Puerto Rico, I'm gonna keep spending time with them and just catch up on stuff that we haven't talked in 2 months and just see how things are and help around the house with any changes that there might be. Doing a lot of that. In terms of games, I'm gonna be. A few minutes ago, I started this Tales of Arise demo. See how it is.
Yo, dude, I've been playing that too.
Hey man, I already had a little fight, and gotta say it right now, y'all. This game is looking beautiful as all hell. This game, right so far, I don't know any story how where it's gonna go. I'm first trying the English dub to see how it sounds, and then I'm gonna go Japanese. Um, so far, the little 10 minutes I've played, this is, I, I, this is pre-order. This is pre-order. I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited.
dude. Okay, can we just talk about Tales of Arise real quick? That's one thing I totally forgot to bring up because it happened earlier in the
Hey
week.
man, we can
Yeah,
touch
go
on
Dude,
it a little bit, yeah.
oh my God, Tales of Arise, dude. Like,
Dude,
I was already excited for the game. Like, it was
yeah,
gonna be a day one
same,
buy,
same.
no matter what. But I am actually blown away by the presentation of this game. Like it's
Hmm.
hitting a note where it's just like this is where I consider Final Fantasy VII Remake to be like the gold standard for JRPGs, at least as far
Yeah.
as like AAA production and all that kind of stuff. This is hitting that mark of like this is gonna be the gold standard for the anime JRPGs that a lot of people like kind of like to make fun of every now and then, or like say like you weeb, stuff like that. I feel like this is gonna break all of
Nah,
that
bruh,
negative like
this,
connotation when it comes to like anime JRPGs.
Yeah.
this game, this game is gonna be the gold standard for that. Standard for Tales, for the Tales series. This game, you can feel the budget. You can see it. You can feel the passion. You can see how the work they're putting into this. And honestly, this game is giving me vibes of it possibly becoming like in the future like a classic. Like the way that it's turning, like what I'm getting from it, the way that everything's coming together, the music is insane. It is so good. And the character design, the way the fighting, the moves, the combos, dude, it is flashy as all hell, but it feels so like robust in a way, like
It's
how the Tales
satisfying
games,
too.
and it's satisfying as hell. And let me tell you, I had like two fights so far because there's I'm exploring like different ways of like, so I'm taking my time during the fights, and dude, I can see myself investing so much in the grind for this game. I can see myself just spending hours and hours just getting the best weapons, getting the best upgrades. Honestly, I'm really excited. This is gonna be the gold standard. If it turns out to be anything of what we're thinking it's gonna be, it will be the gold standard for action RPGs, like for anime and the Tales series. And this is gonna be another, just like Yakuza and just like Ease with Monstrum Nox. This is gonna be another game where it's gonna rise above the radar and people are gonna recognize it for what it is and how it is like a legitimately good series. It's up and downs like any other franchise. Final Fantasy has its up and downs, and so does Ease. But I'm excited, man. I'm so happy that, and that's something that Herman Holst mentioned in the article that we talked about last night, which is that a lot of their DNA in Sony still is Japanese. That is their heritage. So I'm glad that there's more Japanese games making their way to the West and giving them the light that they deserve. And PlayStation is very much like taking advantage of that. And I'm so happy that this game is turning out to be how it is. Because, dude, since Tales of Exillia, I've just been wanting more Tales.
Yeah.
And more Tales.
You gotta play Berseria, man. Berseria is definitely a winner.
I need to play that one for sure. I played Berseria.
It's a winner for sure, man. It's so good.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm glad we'll talk about more next podcast when we finish it and we see how it like our actual like final thoughts of this demo are. But I'm glad we touched upon it right now. I didn't know you were playing as.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I want to play more of the characters before we get there. But yeah, from what like whenever I play as like a new character, I only play as 2 right now. I just rush through and try to fight because I want to save all like the dialogue and the character interaction for when I actually play the game.
Ooh, good stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
I started with just so Macho knows I'm starting with Kisara, the old.
Yeah, same here, buddy.
Hey man, you know what? That shield, that maze, that man, and her, she fires so far. She's fire so far.
Yeah. Jay, are you gonna play? Are you a Tales fan by any chance?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I might check it out. Yeah, I probably will.
Talk about it next podcast.
I'm
telling you, man, that the combat's pretty fire.
It really is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I've seen some clips, man. But I mean, as for me, man, I'm gonna be preoccupied with the Dragon's Dogma. I was not expecting to like this game this much.
Hey.
During this podcast, man, I got a new sword. I leveled up to level 6.
Cool.
I got a pretty cool outfit now. Like, man, my character looking pretty cool now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm meeting a lot of weird characters too in the camps. I fought a wizard. I got killed by some wolves. Just like Dark Souls, man, the wolves are the most dangerous thing.
Hey, man, always.
But yeah, man, I'm excited. And this game also, like, weirdly enough, man, it just looks like, dude, you died? What the hell? This guy got eaten by wolves. But weirdly enough, man, this game looks like Dark Souls. Like, that kind of like it has like a pretty art style, but just like, I don't know, character wise and even like environment wise it just like it has that very like PS3 kind of like Dark Souls 1 or like even Demon Souls look to it, if that makes any sense, just like aesthetically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of Capcom's most interesting new IP for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Walt, what about you? Got anything going on this week?
Wait, let me pause here. Aside from the Tales and the family stuff, I'm starting my fall classes. I'm officially starting my senior year as an undergrad. I'm seeing how that goes.
Hey.
Pretty excited. This is the hardest classes are yet to come. I'm pretty excited to experience true psychology death, and see where this new job takes me. See if it turns out to be a good stepping stone into the right direction. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'll be doing. Tales of Arise and more Catherine, boy. You know what I mean? Hey, Catherine.
Yeah. Dude, oh my, I'm gonna get fucking killed by wolves again, man.
Yep, that's what he's gonna do.
Oh man, that did not sound pleasant in my ears.
Oh, my bad. When you get chewed up by the wolves, you gotta spin the controller stick around in a circle. I hate it, man. 'Cause it tears
Oh
up.
man, the good thing you're not on cam like J-Main was when he was quote unquote untangling his controller.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you see that clip?
Nah, I didn't. I don't want to see it though.
I gotta send it to you, dog. They're clowning for it. It was so funny.
The rivet come on screen or something? That's what it was. She appeared on
Hey,
screen.
man.
He was getting busy.
Probably a notification.
Oh man. That's crazy. But yeah, man, we're gonna end the podcast here. See you guys again next week, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. roughly. Yeah, we'll see you guys then. With
Respectfully,
yeah,
respectfully, around 10:30 a.m.
yeah. We'll see you guys then. We'll talk about all the announcements at Sony's State of Play. I'm sure it'll be really it'll be really cool. So yeah, see you guys then. Peace.